One Northern California diocese is facing so many sexual abuse lawsuits it could go bankrupt. People have filed over 200 lawsuits against the Sacramento diocese, most of them going back decades. That is happening as state lawmakers are trying to end the statute of limitations on child sex abuse civil cases. Right now, only people under the age of 40 can sue their attackers. Kelsey Thorne talked to a survivor in his 70s who said he wants to be able to sue even now. A note, we are not showing his face and only using his first name because he requested to remain anonymous.
It's been over 60 years since Mike says he was abused by a priest as a child. But even all these decades later, it is still hard for him to talk about what happened.
I just remember feeling I wanted to get the hell out of there, and I felt like a sissy for not wanting to be there.
Mike was just 10 years old when he says a priest at his Catholic school in San Francisco sexually abused him and several other students while on a class trip.
I'll never forget the word horseplay either. And I think by the time he got down to me, I don't remember.
Mike says after the assault, he spiraled.
I joined the bad boys, who, instead of going to church on Sunday, would meet around the corner in the alley and smoke cigarettes.
For years, he says he struggled with anger issues. It wasn't until just a few months ago, at the age of 75, he decided to join a support group.
Finally, I said, I'm getting old. I have Parkinson's. I had a stroke 5 years ago. I'm not going to live forever. Either I'm going to do something about this or not.
It was in that support group, Mike says, he learned some people were thinking about suing the Catholic Church. Mike says he thought about suing too, but then found out he couldn't because of his age.
So as it currently stands, someone has until their 40th birthday to bring a lawsuit arising from childhood sexual abuse.
Paul Llewellyn is an attorney who specializes in child sex abuse civil cases. Under current California law, only survivors under the age of 40 can sue their attackers or the organizations their attackers work for. Paul says that's a problem because more than half of survivors who come forward are older than that.
It's been reported that the average age for someone to come forward and report that they were abused as a child is age 52. And remember, that's the average age. So there's many people, they may come forward in their late 50s, their 60s, their 70s.
It is for that reason State Senator Nancy Skinner and State Assembly member Dawn Addis introduced a new bill titled the Justice for Survivors Act.
What we're saying is it doesn't matter what age you are when you decide to confront your abuse as a child, you have the right to have your day in court around that.
The bill would eliminate the statute of limitations on child sex abuse civil cases, allowing survivors of all ages to sue, including Mike.
Yeah, the statute of limitations should be just waived. I don't think statute of limitations would be appropriate in this case because it's such deep human damage. People have been really hurt.
Mike told me even if the bill does pass, he's not sure if he would actually sue, but he says he wants to have that power to decide for himself.
I think that all the people that were abused by those folks should have the right to sue them. Yes.
While he waits for that right, Mike told me he plans to continue to go to his support group. He says he's happy to finally be on a journey towards healing, but it's just the beginning.